Hi everybody, it's MicheleMarieDalene, and today we are testing the setup with the color test chart at this test. So obviously you can see I have the test chart in front of me, and we use that to focus the little 3.5-inch LCD display. Hopefully the picture will be clear at this point. Right now, of course, is also, I think we have the sound pretty much dialed in where we want it. Although, you know, there's a lot of noise in this building, and normally at night I think it would probably be better to do a video after everybody goes to bed. The choice of lighting positions was selected specifically to keep the light from being too much of a pain in the ass. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, the noise in here is the refrigerator. That's because the SM57 is aimed at the refrigerator, so let me turn that one off, and so the cardioid effect won't be so noticeable. Anyway, this is the pretty much the way the studio will be set up to do videos. Might have to adjust some light fixtures for video work here, and also I'm going to need to make sure that the equipment is not going to be in a way. And I notice, of course, that light is still a little bit off. I'm going to have to adjust that more. I'll just give me a second here. Okay, so let's see how it looks on the viewfinder. And okay, that's about as good as it's gonna get. So. Okay, so basically everything looks pretty much where it should be as far as brightness and contrast levels, and I will obviously play this video in well and see how this plays. Yeah, I have to do this every time I move my equipment. The problem is there's like several brightness and levels and contrast controls that we need to adjust. Right now, we never messed with the knobs on the camera. We always left those alone because there's actually a way to actually change the output of the camera's brightness, contrast, color, and tint. We don't want to mess with that. We have enough trouble adjusting all the brightness and contrast levels and hue with the other controls that are in the capture card and in the monitor. The monitor is set pretty much at factory. The capture card is the thing that I'm trying to dial in right now. Obviously, we could definitely benefit by more light here. I got more light. Yeah, I know you do. You got a whole nother light fixture. Exactly. You can put yeah, well, you know what? That's a great idea. We will do that. We're gonna see if I was gonna get some more reflectors anyway. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm going to get some more of those reflectors and aim them at the studio. And I have another light fixture. I'm gonna show it to you because right now it's not doing anything right now. It's a table lamp. I know it's one of those antique-y kind of light fixtures. It's got an incandescent bulb in it right now. I got another 45 watt CFL. I can put that in here and maybe put this like somewhere else. Maybe what I might do is just go ahead and it's designed for a fitted glass shade. So that's all I'll do. I'll just get a fitted glass. Oops, there goes the dust card. I'll just get a fitted glass shade and put, or even put the brass light fixture that's over there by the Power Mac or the G5, or I mean the eMac G4 and the Power Mac G3, and put that one over here too. And they'll also give us a good source of light as well. In fact, even if I put a bulb in, that would probably be good just to fill it in. So that's the next project. We're going to dial in the light levels to make them as best they can be. Now, the camera does have something called dynamic or wide dynamic range setting, which is D-WDR. I'm not using that right now, but we could use it. However, for test purposes, I think it would kind of potentially create problems for some video work where you may want shadow. And right now, that shadow is just basically a part of the process. We are getting that right now. We're trying to make sure to get the colors right, bring it up to color standards, and then once everything is up to standards, we can then go ahead and start dealing with some of the more unusual features of this system. So that's what we're going to do, and that's what we're doing. Okay, so I'm really excited to be back in here because now we have the table. This, but you know where this table came from. This was the one that was in the kitchen, and we're using this one because it allows us to have the equipment. Now, I did do a video earlier on this, but let me rehash this again. Talk about the sound system really quickly here, because why not? If you remember, we have our SM57, and we have our mixer. Yeah, sorry. Let's see. It's the refrigerator. Yeah. Can we turn it down, honey? Yeah, we can turn it down. Let's turn this down to 5. So we'll set all 3 volumes to 5. Here, 5 for the SM57, 5 for the Pyle PDMic one. The master volume is at 5, and we'll see how that looks as far as the curve goes. You don't want to have it too much space. You want to have a little headroom in case you get some really loud people in the studio. Then at least you can adjust the microphones accordingly to that person's voice. Now, since I have 2 microphones, this one, I can actually talk to you through both microphones, or of course I could turn one off as I did earlier, and I could turn one on at whatever one I want to do. And of course this has an audio input on it as well, so if I wanted to play a CD or something, I can plug it into this mixer and it will go out onto the recording. If I wanted to set up the auxiliary line here for another mixer. There's 4 microphone jacks. Let me just grab this thing here. This is the output jack XLR. This is the input 3 XLR. This is the input 4 XLR. 1, 2, and that's pretty much it. And of course you hear a little echo in the background because you have the other speakers on too, so we can hear that. I did a video demonstration on the M68 in the past. Hi, Rusty! Mr. Kitty came up to the desk again. And as I said, I did a review on this. I still think this is a gorgeous piece of kit. I'll tell you why. I think it's a very simple little machine to use. I can use it as a DI box. Actually, you're going to rub your paws against that. Let me turn this microphone off for you. Okay, now you can rub your paws against it. Yeah? No, don't want to. Okay, fine. Anyway, well, that's something we'll be working on. So, you can adjust this master volume. I thought it sounded good at 7, but I think 7 might be a little high, and 5 might be a little low, so we'll set for 6. 6 is kind of in the middle. And yes, picks up all the background noise. I think it's the pile that's picking it up, so let's try turning that off. Yes, it's the pile is picking up the background noise of the refrigerators and the kitchen and things like that. So, you know, I guess in some ways it's not so bad. I mean, it's not really noticeably bad. It's just noticeably loud because I got the headphones blasting in my ears. Um, but it's still. So the headphones are genuine, realistic Nova 40s. These are the originals from the 70s. These are not the newer ones that they came up with in the 80s to have volume controls on them. These are the original Nova 40, not the Nova 40As. It says a standard coiled cord on it, and they have you can see I have a 1/4-inch extension cord here, stereo cord, so I can plug these in to my monitor jack and my mixer, so we can set the audio levels according to ouch. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to see about putting some padding underneath these microphones because the table also is kind of microphonic as well. So, are we almost back to completely getting the video to do chroma key? At this point, I'd say we're very likely going to be doing chroma key very soon. Let me discuss the weather for the next few days because that is my job and that's what I do normally in the wintertime. It's summer right now, so this is probably going to surprise you. Right now here in New England, at this point, it's high. Today was about 16 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow is supposed to be closer to seasonal of about 23. It's not going to be really getting into the upper 20s until maybe next week. We'll start seeing some higher temperatures. Apparently there's a cold front dominating my area, and it's nice. It's one of the reasons I came in here. It wasn't too hot. I don't have to have the air conditioners on, at least I can lower my electric bill, and that's a plus. Also, what we're going to be doing eventually is I want to start doing interactive videos with you. When I talk about interactive, what I mean is this multimedia presentations. That's what I'm thinking about renaming this from the multimedia room. I'm going to use the PowerMac eMac G3 and our the adapter that goes for the mini VGA to composite video from adapter from Apple to allow us to plug in our composite cheap video projector. I mean cheap. It was a light blast projector. I bought a CVS for $99. That's, for most people, it would work fine. Of course, during the presentation, we'd have to turn the lights off, especially so we'd have lots of darkness to make sure that you can see the picture well. And that's certainly what we'll be doing. The cameras that we're using at this point are working really well. Now, the little 3.5-inch display does work very well as in addition to that. Now that we got this thing working this far, we can go to the next level, which is we can now decide if you're going to leave it in automatic, which the turns of the manual and the automatic are almost dead center perfectly the same. So the automatic is, will allow me to use the 6mm lens and to dial in the brightness a little bit more precisely on the system. Now, I told you about this test card before, and I didn't get a chance to describe some of these patterns on it. If you will bear with me, if you will. There's a couple things on this card. There's a lot of additional test patterns that we're not going to need to worry about. Let me just explain the main ones that we use here. Here's your white levels from dark, black, okay, pure white. You have your flesh tones over here. I'm kind of close to the latest peach here, okay? I don't think definitely the latest one here. These are other colors. I think these are like in the reds and the blues. We have our color wheel here that shows us the colors. We also have, again, these are the corner thingies, bullseyes for making sure that you got good camera focus. Now, I couldn't show you this in the last time on the chart. Probably you still can't see it because it's still far away. Again, we have this lens, a spherical test here. It's a giant, almost like a piece of graph paper. It's just got little, you know, uh, it's a grid. Okay, so basically you would use this grid to adjust your camera to make sure that you have no lens distortion or aberrations. That's what this was for, and that was what I was trying to show you yesterday. And I'm sorry, I fumbled the ball, and I am really sorry about that. So it's great chart. It's really already is proven to be quite useful for me, and we can see, for example, that we already know that the original MP CB234 was 480 TVL, and you can see it's where this is right here in the lines. You can see obviously clearly on this camera the divisions. At this point, if I was holding this up to CB234 at the proper distance, you might be able to see up to the separation up to about 480 or close to 500. Or we have a 700 TVL camera, you can see that there is much finer linearity. There's also another similar chart for horizontal, vertical on the inside. So if you can see obviously it's smaller. So if I was going to use this whole card, and this whole card was in the field of the camera lens, and then I could use this chart. If I'm obviously am really close up to the camera, I can use this inner chart here, and this again will show me the same thing. Also, we have our crosshatch patterns, and we have a few other test patterns to test. This was originally designed for CRTs. This does work for LCDs and of course as well. So the main thing that we're going to be working on is making sure that we have a good grayscale and good color saturation in the wheel here. It's important because I do everything by the standards. I don't Mickey Mouse around. I set everything up to the SMPTE chart. This is Society of Motion Pictures television entertainment chart. Okay, this is the chart that we use to set everything up by the guideline to make sure everything is to code. Same thing for the audio gear. We set the microphone levels up to optimum level to provide at least a little bit of headroom, which we can, of course, we can fix that sound if we need to in the studio by normalizing it. So again, for my records here, the mixer is set at 6, microphone 1, pile mic 1 is set at 5, and the SM57 is set at 5 on the M68 MC mixer, which is using the high level audio output. Plugged into the Shure SSM 1250 at audio input level of 7 through line input number 3. And that's the way we do it right now over here. For those of you who are listening to this on Pink Rose Radio, you forgot this goes on the radio too, guys. I'm very happy to have you here, and of course, I don't know how many people can hear it. We're going mostly just kind of yard cast or building cast. We don't really go too far after that. I mean, because the transmitter is only a 100 milliwatt AM transmitter, but it does work out good for the building, for news reports and things like that. So. Am I keeping my eyes open today? Yes, I am. And what the thing is I got to make sure to keep working on. Oh, this morning I had a nice surprise. I noticed that my right eye seemed to be a little bit better than it had been in a while. I was able to look at my eye and not feel like I was going to get sick to my stomach trying to focus it caused me discomfort with just using the right eye to look at my right eye. I was able, in the mirror, I was able to look at the right eye. I didn't get as much vertigo. I didn't get that illness, so that was a great thing. Also, the filling in the patch stuff I put in the tooth has pretty much crumbled away. It was a temporary filling, so it wasn't really a permanent solution. It was just it did work for a long time. The tooth itself seems to be holding together better now. Now, with all the excess cement out of there, it's actually still kind of holding its own. I still got to put something in for the filling so I don't get food in my and it has to irritating my nerve. It's the last thing I want to do. But I'll do that later on. The other thing too I notice is sometimes when I'm doing these videos in this room especially is that my hair can look gray. That is the white balance issues. We can adjust that. Again, that's a camera issue. This is reasons why we got to be careful when we start messing up with these settings, because when you start dealing with color or white balance, it's when things can get really scary. I could set it back to automatic, but I don't know if that's necessarily going to always solve the problem, but we can certainly try that in another video another day. And this basically is the first debut of actually using the multimedia studio to do something. If we clean up this room enough, now it looks like a studio, even though it is still got a lot of stuff in here. We have a couple nice props that we can use instead of this table. We have a nice wicker chair. We have a and things like that. Now, are we going to stick the monitor onto the camera? I've been thinking about that. I'm thinking more and more, and the answer is yeah. Because you know why? I'll tell you why. It does work good for that application. The camera, like I told you, is expendable. It's cheap. I mean, you could buy, it's only $14. I mean, sure, why not? It's not going to kill you any. Maybe I'll buy one for each of my cameras. Even the CP234 and the BW314, 214, which is the 314, which is the monochrome camera from Panasonic, would also benefit from the same monitor being mounted to it, as it's a little wider base anyway. So this thing is really, we've come a long way from those simple days. For those of you who are watching this on Patreon and on GoFundMe, I want to let you know that I still could use let me turn that microphone off because he's going to keep walking into it. He's going to start walking into the other one. No, it's the black one. Okay, turn the black one off. I think that the thing that I wanted to point out to you is that, yeah, I still need the chroma key here, because you are getting to be a pain in the ass, Mr. Cat. Come on, okay? Before you knock that off, this is a $99 microphone. I don't want to have this thing hit the floor. No. Okay. Go kiss the other microphone. He's not going to. No. Okay. Anyway, so Mr. Cat, are you done making love and putting your scent on my microphone now? Are you still putting your scent on my microphone equipment? Anyway, Rusty is doing good, and his little friend Mikey is doing good, and yes, Mikey is a boy kitty, and they are both getting along very well. Mikey is still a little nervy, but I think he's sort of coming around. So we'll see more about him as we go. And of course, how much do I turn this knob? I don't know. Okay. Off. Quarter turn. Okay, that works. Quarter turn, and that will turn it up to 5. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, that's the news. Also, of course, you still could use your donations on both Patreon and GoFundMe, so that we can begin the process of getting the chroma key here, and so we can improve our video productions quality and standards. And so please do keep making donations, and I appreciate you watching these videos and everything, and I hope that you will continue to watch them. And we're going to keep working on them. But please, for now, don't forget to like or dislike, share with your friends and enemies, comment in the comment section below. If you do not like the video, tell me why. If you do like the video, tell me why. And if you have not already subscribed, please do subscribe. I really would like to see my user base get up to 60. Lumi's already got up 10, and I think that would be great. Yeah, and I think that also is a really amazing thing that we are finally getting the studio more calibrated and set accordingly. I'm thinking that maybe for the future we should bring the camera back over. Can we bring this closer to the wall, or would it create a big problem with shadow? We could try that in another video. Not tonight. Maybe we will. I don't know. Okay, whatever. So, okay, we'll talk to you soon. Bye bye, Red Bay.